What's good, family? And it is Victory Monday following a New York Jets win over the Philadelphia Eagles. Final margin of 20-14. And for those of you that have been living on the moon for the last 6 decades, it was actually the franchise's first victory in team history over the Philadelphia Eagles after having a just unprecedented 12-game losing streak against a random team like Philly. It's just glad to not be reminded of that every 4 years when we have to line up against these guys. So to get that monkey off your back, that's saying something. I don't care who you are. And here we are heading into the bye week, 3-3, and a lot of you out there, and I said this even before the Rodgers injury, going into the season with this gauntlet of games that we had to go through for the first month and a half of the 2023 season, even I said, listen, with Rodgers, if we can come out of it 3-3, God willing, maybe 4-2, we would be in pretty damn good shape. So to say that we did this with Zach Wilson as a testament to this coaching staff, hats off to Coach Saleh. I've been one of his biggest critics. Hand up. I've been an even bigger critic of Zach Wilson with a lot of his in-game decisions, holding the ball too long, careless errors, but a lot of it's getting cleaned up. He threw for 186 through the air. Granted, he didn't throw a touchdown, but he also didn't throw a pick, which is always key. The ball's been spread around between Garrett Wilson, Conklin. Breece Hall got about 13 carries. Granted, it wasn't like a ton of yardage, but, if you get the guy in open space, he takes off. He scored a touchdown, which was huge. But I think the story of this game, honestly, is got to be this defense. Going into this game, 6.5-point underdogs. No DJ Reed, no Sauce Gardner, no Brandon Eccles. We just found out AVT is lost for the year. We've been without Rodgers for the entire year. And to come out and absolutely just light it up against them. And granted, it started off slow. Let's call it for the way it is. That second half, they were completely lights out. 4 turnovers. 3 of them were interceptions by Bryce Hall, Tony Adams. Hell, even Quinnen Williams got a pick. Granted, it was off a deflection, but a pick is a pick. I'll take it. So, again, the defense has so many unsung heroes. Actually, I'll take it a step further. I think we have 3 unsung heroes for this game. Defensively, I think it's Huff. The guy who came here undrafted, he needs to get paid. I'm going to lose it, as many of you guys out there will completely lose it if he hits the open market because he's going to secure the bag. I'd be totally open to trading Lawson at the deadline. He's exhausted his time here. He hasn't done much. I'm totally okay letting him go. But Huff, to be undrafted, to come here, to put out the production on the field that he's been doing, it's second to none. It's absolutely sensational. And as far as Tony Adams goes, for those of you who don't know, another undrafted guy, and the Jets felt so strongly about him coming out of college that they offered him the max contract you could offer an undrafted free agent just to secure him on this roster, start him off on the practice team, and look at him now. He's a starting safety in the National Football League with the game-clinching interception. Granted, it didn't clinch it then, but, that truly was the dagger. I was shocked that they actually called a pass play. If you're Coach Sirianni, and I'm not trying to coach up Philly, but why aren't you running the ball in that situation? The Jets had no timeouts. They had no way to stop the clock. So the fact that they actually had Jalen drop back to pass and throw into coverage is just mind-boggling. I'm glad they did it. But again, it's just, crazy. Mismanagement. But how many times have we mismanaged our team and it cost us games? So I'll take it. But unsung hero for the defense, Bryce Huff. Please get the man paid before the season is over. I would even get it done now going into the bye week. Why the hell not? Offensively, unsung hero, where do we begin? I guess you have to go to who? Zach Wilson. He managed the game perfectly. No errors, no fumbles. He takes costly sacks, but again, somebody has to, carry the offense out there and lead. And I think him as a leader, he's been maturing a little bit more at a time, week after week after week. And, I don't want to buy into that bullshit nonsense. There's little things there on Twitter or X that the organization knows that Aaron Rodgers is going to be ready by week 14 for the Texans game. I don't know how much I buy into that. I, as much as the next fan wants to see Aaron Rodgers out, or I was pumped up when we made the move for him. But realistically speaking, if the Jets are in a position to make a playoff run, Do you really want to disturb that chemistry and insert Rodgers after an ACL injury, which I find it extremely hard to believe that he could come back, especially with that type of timetable, is unheard of. But you guys saw him on the sideline, throwing warm-up passes, and he's walking on it. I mean, he stood on the sideline without crutches for a 3.5-hour football game, which, I mean, he's 36 days removed from major surgery. How does that happen? Unless they lied about the injury like they've lied about so many other things. I mean, look at the Sauce injury. It went from an illness to a concussion to, oh, by the way, he's flat out not playing. So, I mean, and they did it last year with Zach Wilson with the PCL. It went from a week to 2 weeks to you're not going to see him till Pittsburgh. Who's to say? I don't trust that. I don't trust this medical staff at all, unless, like I said, they're being coached up to, not tell the truth. But who knows? So that's my unsung hero over there. And actually, you know what? I'll take it a step further. I would even give an award out to Mekhi Becton that he's not being talked about enough. I mean, he was tossing defenders around. I mean, he's becoming that mammoth of a man that we expected him to be when we took him in the 2020 draft at the top of the first round. If he can make it healthy to the end of the season, playoffs or not, just prove your durability. I don't know if they put an extension on the table, but I think I definitely pick up his fifth-year option. Or actually, no, what am I saying? They declined his fifth-year option, if I'm not mistaken. So I would actually entertain slapping the franchise tag on him. Who's to say if he'd actually sign it? But you can't afford Mekhi Becton at this point in time to just walk away to the market. And I know he's had his injury issues the last 2 years, but again, premier tackles do not hit the market. They don't. Recycled ones do. Guys that come off major injuries do. So it's either you bring back your guy that you've known for the past 3-4 years that you drafted with your very first round draft pick, Joe Douglas, or you go into the unknown with the NFL draft. So you can look at it from both points of view. And I would even make an argument, too, for last unsung hero for special teams and Greg Zuerlein. It's nice to say we finally have a competent kicker. Granted, he was responsible for 12 of our 20 points, 4 for 4. I mean, how long has it been since we've been able to say that? I don't know how long he signed for. Extend him, extend Morstead. I'm glad we never have to see the likes of, Braden Mann punting. I mean, Morstead's almost averaging 50 yards a punt. And that's huge for the field position game. Absolutely huge. So again, it's so nice to be 3-3, which was what we all would have signed up for at the beginning of the year. Heading into the bye and getting 10 days or two full weeks, I should say, to prepare to play a very bad Giants team that is reeling right now. Whether or not Daniel Jones plays in that game, I don't know. I don't really care. I don't like the Giants. Granted, it's an interconference game. But you don't need me to tell you, every Jets and Giants fan in the world that's going to be attending this game wants to beat the doors off of their crosstown rivals. So to which I say this to any Jets fans out there on TicketStub, on StubHub, on the Game Time app, through your friends, if you know Giants fans that are going to be giving up their season tickets as well as giving up on the season itself, buy the tickets up. Buy them up and make it a Jets home game. Yes, I know technically the Giants are the home team for this game. Whatever. Make it a sea of green and create the home field advantage to help the offense. To go to 4-3 would be huge, and that sets you up for that big Monday Night Football game at home against the Chargers, which is absolutely pivotal to start, winning games within the AFC. Granted, they have the tough loss with KC and New England, which was a killer. But if you start stacking wins in the conference, it helps with your seeding at the end of the year. We're fortunate enough to beat the Bills, and those division games are going to be huge, especially, when we have to go up to Orchard Park later this year. We haven't even played the Dolphins yet, and we close the season out with New England in Foxborough, and that streak is still alive, 15 games in a row. I would love to send Belichick in his final game as the Pats coach with a loss. I would absolutely just love that. But again, very, very, very doable schedule with other games. Vegas, who stinks. The Commanders, the Texans, the Browns, the Bills, who you already beat. The Pats already have their issues. We know that. So season is far, far from over. Do I think our Super Bowl hopes are still there? Probably not. You know what I mean? I'm a realist, but you can't throw the season away. You have to show progress that the program that you put into place is finally coming to fruition. If you can get a playoff berth and maybe make some noise in the playoffs, Rodgers comes back next year, you add 1 or 2 more pieces, in 2024, you really go for it. So again, just a short video. I wasn't here last week, so I just wanted to chime in my 2 cents. Monday Night Football is about to start. Chargers and Cowboys. I've always disliked Jerry Jones from a fan's perspective, but tonight we're all Cowboys fans. Go Cowboys, go Jets. I'll talk to you guys next time here in the Jets Lounge.